good to go when you're ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Sure.
I gotta remember that you just don't begin things.
Nope, I can't. I don't know how.
Hey everyone, welcome to, what is this, episode 8 of Just Some Tea. I'm G.
I'm Melissa.
And welcome to this here podcast. So, a lot of stuff has happened since the last podcast, I guess. I'm trying to...
Yeah.
A lot of shit's gone down. A lot of stuff's gone down.
I think we last recorded about a month ago-ish.
Was the last one a month ago?
2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah. I'm yet again beginning a new job. Pretty soon here.
Third one
in Austin. This one seems like it might be a one that I stay at,
yeah,
though.
hopefully this one sticks.
Yeah, it seems real nice, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it. We'll see. We'll see how it is, though. I'm pretty confident, staying optimistic. It's in the south part of Austin. It's like near the part of the city that I kind of want to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's not bad down there at all. At least where my job is, that area. It's not terribly far from where the Alamo is and things of that stuff. What's up?
There's so many Alamos, though.
Yeah, it's probably near the 50th or 60th Alamo in Austin, so I'm a little excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything going on with you of note?
I'm trying to find a new job and going to an event tomorrow to hopefully get in with the new job prospects.
Yeah, I hope that works out for you. I'm gonna move this mic. It's gonna sound terrible for a second, just to kind of get you on. Actually, move closer to this mic.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I moved away.
You did move away from the microphone.
Well, yeah, because I sat back. Yeah. All right, we're good now, I think.
Yeah, you should be fine. I'll
Alright.
raise the volume and I'll be terribly loud. How dare you?
That granola bar, sorry.
Wait, was that a cough or?
No, it was a cough because of the granola bar.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, is that a cough or a sneeze?
That was a cough.
Do you inhale the granola? Yeah, no, there's been some stuff that's going on. I went to my first emo night ever.
Yeah, how was that?
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was really cool. Boy, a lot of stuff happened during that. A lot of stuff happened. So, our friend Max, if you're watching this, what's up?
Hey.
Yes, went over Max's place to pregame, and by pregame it was a couple of White Claws here and there.
No, you didn't tell me that part.
It's, honestly, didn't hate them. I was like, I had like one, and I was like, I'm not as upset about this as I was the first time I had it. And I'm not going to seek this out, but whatever. People like these, they like
I'm
these.
still upset, and that was 3 months ago.
I'm at the point where if you like them, I can see why people like them, especially if that's just like the way their palate is. And I'm like, whatever, fine. This is fine.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with that. But yeah, it was like that, and then I ate pretzels. It was a lot of just kind of reminiscing about music, and made some new friends. They're really cool. Getting there was interesting. One of Max's friends knew someone who was able to get us in, which was great. So we got in there, and there were just a lot of people. I didn't emo night is in general it's once a month, and it's cool that a lot of these people they do this consistently. There was a lot of people there. It seemed like a couple hundred people.
Jeez.
There. It was a lot of people. But nothing was really out of hand for the most part. I spoke to so many people there. I got mistaken as a friend of people's by so many different groups of people. The amount of people who walked up to me and were like, dude, I know you were coming tonight. And me being me, I'm just going to go. I literally just went, nah, man, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you guys. Like, I just wanted to show up, hanging out with some of my other friends. They're like, no, it's cool, man. But, like, glad that you made it. Like, I'm going to buy you a drink? And I'm like, nah, it's totally cool, man. I'm just going to hang out here. Like, all right, hopefully see you around, man. If anything, I'll see you Monday. And I'm like, yeah, see you Monday, man.
They're gonna talk to their friend on Monday and be like, oh, man, I'm so happy you went there on Wednesday. I'm like, what? I didn't go?
Oh, man.
They're gonna feel so bad about themselves.
The amount of times that happened that night was comical.
Or they're not gonna remember because they were too drunk.
They were definitely drunk when they came up to me, but that was probably the highlight of the night, was me telling people, agreeing to plans and.
Was it the same person every time?
No, it was different groups of people.
I'm saying, were they mistaking you for the same person every time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it happened like there were 3 different people who I thought were part of the same friend group, but they definitely weren't. They were not part of the same friend group at all.
Okay.
That mistook me for someone that they knew individually as people.
Okay.
And I was like, I guess that I'm just that neutral looking right now, or whatever. I don't know what's happening with that, you know. But that was real funny. There was one guy who had an extensive conversation with me, and Max was there with him, and I just flowed right into it. I was like, nah, man. I was like, man, I don't even remember that. How do you remember that? And like smacked him on the arm, and the dude was just like, man, you're always forgetting shit, huh, man? No, but it was totally, and we're just talking, and I have no idea what he's talking about.
There's that 20 charisma coming into play.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Didn't really, man. We ended up trying to because since Max and I are like the dads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were like chaperoning for a bit there. Max was on a mission. He was on a mission for a friend of his.
Okay.
And he had I'm not gonna say it just because it's his thing.
You told me.
I told you about it. Yeah. But oh boy, did he complete his mission. But he was objective that night, and I'm so proud of him for just like getting there. But for myself, I was in the business of making new friends and causing as much mayhem as I could.
How much mayhem did you cause?
Oh man!
I mean, a little bit of mayhem with people mistaking you.
Yeah, that was light mayhem.
Yeah, that was
light
mayhem.
Light. Oh man, there was a person at the bar where she went and she got herself a Jack and Coke. And then I said, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know they did Jack and Cokes here, right?" Which is a dumb thing to say for a bar, but I don't go to bars often, right? And she was like, "No, you should totally get one." And I was like, "I don't know about it." She was like, "I'll buy it for you." And I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Don't buy it." I was like, "Don't buy me a drink, please." And she like held me. She like put her hand like on my back and like pushed me towards the counter. And she was like, "I'm buying you a drink," and I don't know who she is, by the way. So she buys me a Jack and Coke and introduces me to her friends. And then they were like, "Are you gonna be in the pit later?" And I was like, "Probably not. But if you see me, push me around." And then didn't see them. I think they actually ended up leaving or whatever. But I got a free drink from that. Which is again, I guess it's like wholesome mayhem because it's me, right? I'm trying to think of what else. I almost got completely undressed through that entire thing. I have this button-up shirt that has a bunch of planets on it, a blue shirt, and I had like I think I had 3 buttons undone, but at the end of the night I had 1 button left. I purposely never buttoned it back up because I wanted to see it was getting out of hand at a point. There was a point where Max and I were waiting on a friend of his to order a drink, and we're standing there, and a woman goes by, very tall woman who's already wearing heels. She had to at least be like 6'8" in her heels. Goes by and like undoes one of my buttons and like stares me in the eyes, and I'm staring her in the eyes. And I was just like, okay, this is the kind of place this is.
Yep.
I'm satisfied. The music was great. It was nice. As I told you, it's
lots of throwbacks.
It's pop punk. It's it's punk. It's pop punk. It's a lot of fucking throwbacks.
Old Fall Out Boy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, 30 Seconds to Mars, and so good.
I'll have to go with you guys next time.
You should. I wonder. Hopefully it wouldn't. Hopefully it doesn't overstimulate you. Hopefully.
I get very easily overstimulated.
There's a lot of people consistently, and there's a lot of bumping of arms, and there's no bubble there.
I'll have to thoroughly pregame, I think, to be able to go and handle that.
Just letting you know, like there's no like bubbles. Everyone's no touching everyone else. Yeah. Everyone's touching everyone else, and it's like that. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was a good time out. But that's like the most that I did outside of that. But we can go into the customer complaint hour.
Oh yes, because we didn't do that last time.
We didn't do that last time.
I don't think I'm ever prepared for this because I get it all out like
already
immediately after work.
Right. So I don't know if it's just a thing with. It's not just a thing with this town. It's most towns, right? Like I've been noticing the amount of jaded attitudes that people have when it comes to just purchasing stuff.
Entitled people.
Absolutely entitled.
Yeah.
man, I should I even talk about my position? I'm no longer there.
You're done now.
Yeah. So I worked in the printing and marketing department at a Staples, and ultimately it was a great job, and I had no problem with the people there that I worked with.
Employees,
The
yeah.
employees, yeah. The customers though were just so, and maybe it's by nature, maybe it's just because it is it's something, it's a special service that people need.
Yeah.
But if you really need something, you should really treat the people who are working on this thing with a certain level of respect, you know?
You'd think.
You would think, yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
But the customers that we were getting were just, up to a point, even slightly appalling to deal with.
Yes, I would definitely say so.
Yeah, there were some people saying some rank shit about other employees there, and I think I told you about the one customer who said like, one of the associates I worked with, like, that like he needed to really be trained again and stuff like that, and that was
Yeah, but like not even trained in like production. She was complaining about his people skills, really.
yeah, it was definitely it was that, and it's like, I mean, that's if you're just here to order and pick something up, you know what I mean, and if you have no actual intention to basically establish a full-on relationship with this distinct person,
Yeah.
then that shouldn't be a thing that you grab at. I mean, maybe I'm different to think that way, right? But like, I feel like that's just really grasping at straws there
I mean,
for like
that's,
anything.
That's all the customers do there, though. Like
They really do.
It's pretty bad.
It is really bad. And the amount of people. If I can paint a picture for you guys listening or watching, like the amount of people who come in, and we have one printer that is shitting its brains out has a huge project going through, and then the other one is basically doing the same.
Yeah.
And we're running around and like binding shit and doing stuff like that, and someone basically knocks on the counter and they're like, "You guys seriously can't just stop something for my thing?" And it's like, "No, we can't. We can't. That's not gonna happen."
I got annoyed the other morning because I had to open by myself finally for the first time because you didn't go in with me. And people just stood at the counter not saying anything. And like my back is turned, I'm cutting things on the cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pay attention to them because I'm trying to line this up right. And they're just standing there. And then I turn around and I'm like, how long were you, like, are you going to make a noise or anything? Like,
right.
Say, excuse me, like,
right.
Don't yell at me for my attention, but also just call out to me because my back is clearly turned to you. I'm not hearing you walk.
Yeah,
out.
it's not even. There's no courtesy call in terms of like, excuse me, or hey, do you mind helping me with this, or walking around the counter and saying like, oh, sorry, are you busy or something? There's never any of that.
No.
Never. And I think my entire time there, it's only happened to me maybe once, where someone even said anything like that along those lines.
Yeah, other than just the annoying clearing of the throat.
I've had the clearing of the throat. I've had people take whatever that they wanted done and kind of just slam it on the counter.
Yep.
I've had people like walk around the counter
to go talk to you at the computer.
To go talk to me at the computer. And
or
it's like,
wherever you were.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, this isn't just free reign for you to be back here.
I know. I hate that it's open and you can walk back there. It's dangerous.
It is very dangerous.
Not good. It should be blocked off to
absolutely
customers.
Should be. Yeah.
Or there should be a sign that says, hey, don't walk back here. They're not going to read it, but there should be a sign.
There should be a sign there, yeah.
So we could at least point to it and be like, hey, don't do this.
Exactly. And there should be a lot of signage there, and it's not really the fault of a lot of the people there, like there's just so many things mechanically that place could totally use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. I feel like it was. I'm glad I got the opportunity. I'm super happy I had the opportunity to work there and to learn these things, and it was a good way to just keep myself afloat for a bit. But it's too much. It's too much. I think that it's just a lot for one person. I think it's just anyone in any retail environment to work in.
Yeah, especially in print marketing, it's really bad. There should be a lot more people working over there.
Yeah.
And based on the training videos, there are supposed to be more people working over there.
I think it's supposed to be like 5 people.
It's supposed to be at least 3 at a time.
3 at a time. Okay. I was told by someone that at this particular location, 5 people
5, yes.
would be the ideal turnaround.
And maybe some extra computers, so there's only one computer you can edit stuff on.
Yeah, I can't even speak on that. I'll have to talk to you about that off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that and I've worked retail in the past, like not even just Target, but I worked for Burlington Coat Factory when I was in school, and that wasn't great either. The amount of people who wanted discounts for no reason, or who would bring something up to the counter and say, "Well, this is damaged. Can I get like half off for this?" And it's like, "No, I will take that, and then you can go buy one that's not, because there's a sign here that says that we're not giving you half off for damaged goods."
Yeah, people constantly are bringing stuff up to the counter, especially like there's the Avery stuff that like their packaging gets messed up all the time, and any paper gets messed up because people rip it open, or it comes to us and it's already damaged.
Right.
And they're like, "Well, how do I know that all the paper's here?" I'm like, "Well, you don't." But honestly, most of the time people just open it up to look at it.
Yeah. People do. I've walked by that aisle so many times and seen packages like not even just like a little seam ripped off. No, it's like a full-on tear. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you guys serious right now? And then you put it back. Like, that's... Do you do this in the grocery store? Do you just open a bag of chips and take one out?
Yes.
Boy.
People do that.
People do that.
I worked at a grocery store before. People do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's not cool.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of not cool things that happen, especially in retail. Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of pens that are stolen is ridiculous.
There were several times where over the radio people have said that, oh, this person is definitely the one person who's done the X, or something, and it's like, it sucks because you're not necessarily allowed to confront people about these things.
Well, no, but like, unless you watch them do it, you can't do anything about it.
Right.
And you have to keep your eyes on them the entire time.
Right.
Or else you can't do anything. If you lose sight on them at all, it's done.
Right.
And, I mean, luckily at this Staples there's actually cameras.
Yeah.
But it's rough.
It's really rough. Honestly, the position itself is rough. The high demand is rough, too. By nature of this city, there are a lot of people here who aren't from here, and that is their go-to place.
Yeah, they're going to go to what they know, which
what they
is
know,
Staples.
exactly. And that makes it not even a little, that makes it really overwhelming. Yeah. For the most part.
Like, there are some people that don't know that Office Depot does the same stuff. UPS does the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's plenty of those places around. We're the only Staples. Mm-hmm. And they just think that we're the only ones that can do this stuff. And maybe we're the cheapest for some of it, but we're also overwhelmed, and you're not going to get it by the time you want it, so maybe you want to spend a few extra bucks somewhere else since you're willing to pay an express fee with us to do it, but we can't get it done.
Yeah, there's like a limit to how much I think people in retail should take from customers. I believe it's a very old school way of looking at it for companies to go like, well, you just got to take the punches, and it's like no human should be taking that level of mental abuse. I'm so sick of
taking the punches.
Yeah, it's not fair to people. Like, and it's very much like that one meme where the dude shoots the other one, and he's like, "Why would you do this? Why would you do this?" That's pretty much what it comes down to with that. The previous jobs I've had, it's like. It was always like, what was the situation? It wasn't just automatically like the customer's right. It's like, no, literally every person in this situation is human. What was the actual situation? If the customer's wrong about it, they're wrong about it. Yeah. We're not going to say they're right about it because they want to be right.
Yeah, and like there are certain people in that store that believe that the customer is always right, and there are other people that are like, no. Yeah. They're not. Yeah. We're gonna fix this.
And that's the way I've always looked at it. It's like, yeah, no, you as a customer, that's fine. You chose to come to this establishment because you needed something, right? Yeah. Then you should walk into it like a person who needs something and treat the people there as if they're going to help you with the thing you need.
Also, the amount of people that walk in just assuming that we have certain items or that we will carry certain things, and then they're super upset with us that we don't carry it or that we're out of stock. It's like, you found the store by using Google Maps or whatever. Mm-hmm. The phone number's there. You could have called.
When I worked in the theater, I had the same problem where people would ask or say, like, milk duds. And it's like, we were like, no, we don't have milk duds here. Like, literally everything that we have is on this board behind me.
Yeah.
And then they would be like, how are you a movie theater without milk duds? Every movie theater has milk duds. And I'm like, hey, how about we just stop this conversation right now? I just told you we don't have them. That's it. That's the end of this. We don't have them. That's it. You know? And they don't sell.
You're not like a big mainstream movie theater.
Yeah, and people have asked me when I work. People ask me why I don't have those, and I was like, they don't sell well.
They suck.
They suck. We'd get a box of them, and then they would sit there. We'd sell
and
3 out of a box.
Yeah,
exactly.
You have to throw them away.
And it's just like that's a lot of money to even get a whole like box of those things.
Yeah.
That's like why even bother doing that if one person's gonna buy it? Like, and then I've probably same person I had this conversation with has said, what if someone had milk duds and just brought them in with them? I'd like, you bought your ticket. Like, go enjoy your milk duds, dude. Like, as long as you're not going in with like a full on meal, you know, then whatever. Eat your milk duds. I don't care.
That's kind of like my reaction to someone saying, "Oh, well, it's cheaper here." Okay.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. It's like
you're
well.
Not at the place that you
exactly.
mentioned.
It's like, wait, hang on. So you know where it was cheaper, but you came here.
Yep.
And then the reaction people usually would have is, yeah, but I'm trying to support you guys, and it's like, you're not supporting me.
Yeah.
You're supporting the greater organism that is this.
Also, if you know anything about Staples, we price match. I'm getting so sick of telling people we price match.
People don't know what that is. A lot of people don't know what that is.
Apparently not, even though we had signs up. We have signs up.
A lot of people when they walk into a retail environment and they see something that is, and this is just from working at the theaters when we were studying some of that stuff, when they see signage that involves any type of verbiage that involves pricing or something of that nature, they think it's a thing they have to sign up for. You know? Like, we had this whole thing where we were considering, like, we had our membership stuff, but it was like, you didn't have to be a member for certain things. Just certain things gave you benefits. And the amount of people who were like, oh, but don't I have to be a member? Because I don't want to do that. It's like, no, you don't. You don't. It's just, you don't have to be a member.
Yeah.
The rest of the sign talks about not being a member.
I tell you if you have to be a member
literally
for this.
that. Yeah, that's exactly the same thing, I think, is they see price match and they're like, oh, I don't want to get involved with anything extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why when they don't realize, like, you're saving them a lot of money.
But then there are the people that are saying, I want to price match this to, like, wherever it's cheaper. I'm like, well, where is it cheaper? I'm not looking that up for you. You can do your own goddamn homework. I'm not taking my time to look this up for you.
I've overheard people saying that to the cashiers, where they're like, they don't. It's just they just say that it'll be cheaper someplace.
Yeah.
They don't specifically give a location.
I want a price match to the online price. I'm like, okay, what is it?
Yeah, it's like you have to tell me what this is. Yeah.
Also, I don't want to use my own personal phone to look this up for you.
I feel like that's part of just public education with a certain thing, like company and public education in general, not just with this particular company, but just in general, like all companies. It's like there's so much knowledge that they expect customers to know, but they don't spell it out. Or employees, customers to come in and just know the verb.
Yeah.
Like, know if they want something cheaper, if they want this process to go smoothly, the companies will expect the customer to know how to engage in that, right? But they don't know how to do that. They just know that they can say this thing and then something's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not the way these things work.
I've straight up told customers, I'm sorry, I don't know that price, so you'll have to look it up for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to use my own phone to look it up for someone, and if, like, the tablet or whatever else isn't available for me to check it, I'm not doing that. Also, there's a line of people behind you, so you can step out of line, pull out your own smartphone, and look it up.
I think that, in general, that sort of environment is dying. I don't think. I know that sort of environment is dying, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's getting their stuff done online. Anytime I had prints that I needed to get done for school, I did it online. Yeah. I got my business cards printed online. I got posters. I got everything. My own store with my shirts. I do them all myself. Do it online because it's easier in my head for this to go to a production facility where they can work on it and actually have enough manpower for it.
That's the other thing that people don't understand about us, or like at Staples. Like, we advertise that we do these things like t-shirts and drawstring bags, like printing on them. Yeah. But we don't do that stuff in store.
I think that's a thing, not even just with that particular company, but in general. Like, they don't. A lot of companies don't want to say that it's sent somewhere else.
Yeah.
I guess for some reason it lessens the need for that people would have for it, but they don't. You have to understand that we live in a time period where people will legitimately order 60 things from China and then wait 3 weeks for it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't, as long as they get it in time. You know, and the other thing is it creates an expectation where customers come in and they think like, oh, this is something that timely for me. I'm responsible for this, but it's your fault. It's not done yet.
Yep.
You know, they're like, oh, I need this tomorrow, and you're like, you've known this for a while now. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you didn't just this morning. The 5 minutes before you walked in here, no one sent you a message and said, hey, you need to get this done immediately. You know what I mean? And they look.
I mean, there are some cases where yes, that has happened because I've talked to customers.
I've spoken to customers about
and that's happened.
Yeah.
But it's also there are other places you can go to get it done.
That's where I think this is the separation with me as a human being. Anytime in my life where I've had to do things like that, where I needed something done immediately, I look at every option. I know what the easy option would be, but I say, okay, in case this doesn't work, what else should I set up for this? I always have backups. I always look into like alternatives for things. Even if it's as simple as pricing out like bus versus an Uber trip to a place if I want to get there on time. You know, like I look at all the information I can, and it takes no more than 8 minutes maybe maximum to do that. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't have that type of patience and time. And if someone else is there for it, they should be able to do it, you know, for me. And for me, and I guess the ultimate thing with this is for me, I can't work in an environment like that anymore. I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
This job that I have now involves a little bit of customer interaction here and there, but it's not to that level at all. Yeah. And it's mostly straightforward.
At least the position that you're in, especially, it's not going to be a lot of customer interaction.
No, honestly, everyone in there participates in that area, and there's something to learn. But it's more so like much like how it was in the theater when someone's walking into your house, and they understand that there's a small expectation that they may have of things, but it can only be done based on the rules we present. Because there's literally, visibly, and physically, there's bounds that we can't do things on in that sort of environment. Yeah. So them making demands would ultimately be actually stupid for them to do in that situation. Yeah. While in this case, it's like, you know, in Staples, it's like no, it's definitely felt like dealing with children, and more so than I'd ever want to deal with that sort of thing. You know, like full on adults, but they definitely felt like children.
Especially the position you were in.
Yeah. It wasn't an easy position to be in, honestly, because there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure from all sides with that, and it's not that I can't take pressure. It's just that kind of pressure is
the pressure
forced.
For immediate results.
Yeah, immediate results with no real time to recover.
Yeah.
That's not really how things work.
On 2 weeks of training.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know what, that was my ultimate decision. It was like, I can stay here, or I can move to this other place, and ultimately the other place makes more sense for me. Yeah. Makes absolutely more sense. So that's pretty much on that. I mean, I feel like this one's going to be a good one. I feel like there'll be a lot of things I can learn, but probably way more contacts I can make in terms of in spaces I want to work in. Yeah. You know, and that's what I find important, and that just in general dealing with customers and such. And for anyone like listening to this podcast, like, don't feel like you have to do that. Like, I understand it's way different if you're in a smaller town and, you know, you have limited options in terms of jobs. Yeah. Some of the people that I know from when I was in the other town training, the reason why they're still at where they are is because they don't have options there.
Yeah, it's not as big of a town. I mean, we're in the big city.
We are in the big city. Yeah,
compared to one of
the three. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And it's not easy, and I couldn't imagine having to deal with this in a smaller town situation because of that reason. It's like it's a restaurant or a very low-paying job somewhere else, or I just have to leave. Yeah. And some people just aren't equipped to leave, you know.
Yeah, or it's an hour commute into Austin for a job.
Yeah, true.
For them. True. Yeah, it's. I mean, and people do that. People do it. People do an hour commute or longer.
I mean, I'm kind of used to doing that, like with I mean, outside of the theater stuff, but before I started working at the theater, I mean, it was an hour to get to Target when I worked at Target, and then one of the restaurants I worked in college was like 45 minutes away, close to an hour. It was all the way on the other side of town.
Okay.
Yeah, from where I was living from the dorms, it was all the way on the other side of town.
Okay.
Like going, like say, like it's like going through Oakland. It's like on the other side, like near Squirrel Hill area.
Ooh, okay.
It took 2 buses. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's really far.
Mm.
I don't know. I've always been pretty close to my jobs.
Right. Right.
By choice mainly, and also like this time we just found an apartment that was close by.
I mean, honestly, we did luck out with this apartment because we were really close to downtown Austin.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I went on the path near the park over there to walk, if you just keep following that, you can see the skyline really clean.
Yeah.
And then when Max and I were walking, I was like, holy shit, we're like right here. It just didn't come into perspective until that moment where I was like, yeah, we were like right here. No fucking wonder.
It takes a little bit to drive there just because the highway situations.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's another route that I wanted to talk to you about that too.
Okay.
Just following the bus route, you can just get right into UT from here without having
We've done that.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
We've done that.
That's probably the best way.
I've looked at it because next month the Critical Role show, so I'll be going over to UT for that.
That's probably the best way to get into there, honestly. And then also, if you don't follow the road, any of the other roads going around, they all connect back to the campus in some way anyway. So
yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, that was my customer talk.
Yeah.
Job talk. Probably next podcast I'll have some updates about this new job. And we'll see what's going on with that.
Hopefully, I'll have new updates about a new
I'm
job.
hoping you would too. I'm very confident you'd be able to get something.
I'm still not that confident.
I'm very confident you would be able to. I don't think like there would be. I don't think like it would be too much of a problem for especially you to get in there. Unless there's anything you have anything to add or.
I don't know. Like I just mentioned, I'm excited for next month. Go to Critical Role Live.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing that. I'm very surprised and proud that you'd be doing that alone. I'm gonna be working, so I won't be able to go. And also, I didn't get a ticket.
Yeah, you didn't get a ticket.
So.
It's. I'm very nervous about going alone, but if I didn't decide to get the ticket when they went on sale, I would have kicked myself. I would have been so mad about not going.
Because it's so close,
I'm living here, and they're coming to Austin. I can't not go.
Exactly.
I'm really mad that the McElroy brothers went to Pittsburgh right after I left. I was like, are you serious? I could have gone to see them?
They're probably going to be here, too.
Oh, yeah, they will.
I mean,
and they were here, or at least 2 of them were here for a book signing.
Right.
Right when we moved down, but I did not have money then to go to that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this and possibly getting out and doing some more things.
Yeah, that's something that we should definitely do more is do more Austin stuff, go out and see what's going on.
I mean, I definitely need to. You've at least gone out a few times.
Yeah, I'll always find a way to go out. I mean, like I've even planned on like if there's something I really wanted to do, I can just hop on the bus and go do it. You know, I don't mind doing things alone. I did it in Pittsburgh all the time.
I don't like doing things alone. I also just don't. I'm very much a homebody, and I like to relax at home.
I feel that.
Yeah. I think that's. Got any news updates?
Actually, I haven't. I thought about checking on that. I just didn't want to run into anything, super depressing.
Yeah, let's avoid depressing. I don't want to jump into that.
Do you know what country you live in?
I do. I don't like it.
You know what country you live in. All right, let's see. Yeah, we can see what's going on locally. If there's anything not too depressing going on locally here. Boy, am I seeing a lot of things about our president I'm trying to avoid reading. I think the most interesting thing is like a lot of the news is just becoming TV show level of of craziness. Like here's a headline here from Fox News, grain of salt, take it with. Woman manages to board Delta flight with no ID or boarding pass.
How?
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
That's not good.
No.
That's a big oof. There's one here from The Gamer. I guess that's the website. 10 ways to make an overpowered fighter in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just trying to find something interesting. Okay, all right. Here, Supernatural star Jared Padalecki. Padalecki. Can never say his name. Padalecki. Spotted ACL. ACL was happening this weekend.
Yes. Yeah. Along with New York Comic Con.
Yes. New York Comic Con. A lot coming out of there.
Yeah.
A lot of trailers. A lot of movie trailers. A lot of game trailers too. But I cared more about the movie stuff happening. Didn't like that Walking Dead game.
No.
I didn't. Oh, apparently, I saw the YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. I think it was another IGN video, but it said that the creator of The Walking Dead said that Walking Dead is going to be going on forever. Like, it's just not going to end.
No, it's not. He's not ending it. I'm excited about like some of the TV show trailers that came out at New York Comic Con, especially The Runaways. Looking super forward to that.
That's going to be really good. A lot of good stuff going on.
Also, I can't wait to watch the Winona Earp panel, because hopefully that'll get uploaded soon, and I'll get to watch that.
I wish that I wish I had the same kind of like interest as you as my friends do to watch panels and stuff. Like I'm definitely like jealous of that, because I don't know why I don't have interest in watching those things.
I've been losing some of my interest, but I don't know. I just enjoy people talking about the show that they're involved in or whatever they're involved in, and like hearing like behind the scenes stuff or their opinions on things. Like especially with Winona Earp, like I got really into all of that. It's just been kind of depressing watching some of that stuff, because I mean, even though season 4 is now like kind of back on track, I don't think they're filming yet. I don't remember, but yeah, it's just been, it was a little depressing there for a little bit, because it was all in limbo and I couldn't watch anything because I was super sad.
There's a lot of depressing news here, so I think I'm just going to move on. A lot of stuff happening up North Austin, so we'll talk about that later.
All right. I mean, I read this to you last night, but that headline, or not headline, but from the Wall Street Journal, women with college degrees outnumber men by a significant margin.
Let's talk about this.
That means trouble for the future of love and relationships.
Talk about this. There's so many implications that come from just that alone.
Yeah, and I didn't read the article. I just read that because I don't want to read the article.
Let's dive into it though. Let's dive into it a tiny bit.
The headline for that is actually fucking kidding me. A good man is getting even harder to find.
Well, they're not wrong, judging by the fucking title of the first one, because it's written by a man, you know?
The future of mating looks grim as more educated women compete for fewer eligible males.
What does that fucking mean?
It means that smart women don't want dumbass men.
Yeah, that seems like really good, really easy math. SATs, passed.
Yeah.
Like...
Come on.
That's like the easiest fucking math ever. Like, are you serious? Of course. Like, I don't...
Also, I'm sorry, just because you graduated from college doesn't mean that someone's going to be interested in you.
That's exactly... Literally that's... I think that so many people have... Again, they get older. You know, think of it this way. They're younger as a child. They barely face consequences. They barely get to face a lot of rules. They don't see as much of the part of the world that will more so neglect that portion of their personality. They get older, they get to school, they get a job, you know, and I'm speaking more for men in this situation. They get a job, and then they get the car, you know, they get all the checklist cookie cutter things that they've been bred to believe is what women want from them in some way. And they meet someone who is gorgeous and educated, and then she's like, nah, I don't care about any of this. Yeah. You know? It's like, of course she doesn't fucking care. Like, none of this actually fucking matters, dude. Like,
I mean, also, like, if your personality sucks,
if your personality sucks, then of course not. Yeah. Of course not.
Which, that's the problem with a lot of, like,
guys.
It's like, their personality fucking
sucks.
sucks.
It's trash. It really is. It's almost like...
I mean, don't get me wrong. Girls have shitty personalities, too.
No, and I was going to ask you, like, what do you... I know that... I don't... Because we spoke on it briefly, like, what you see in a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like... I think... I'm just trying to think. It's like, it doesn't... I can't think of examples where it plays the same way, you know?
Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for gay relationships.
Right.
Or queer relationships. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, both... I don't know.
Because I know dudes do the same thing. I've been around guys before who straight up say something like, "Oh, she's cute, but you know, she like never finished college or something, you know, or she like works retail or something." And it's like, dude, like who
nowadays?
The fucking it's like who doesn't nowadays, man? Like, if you like her, clearly you don't like her, so stop talking about her.
Yeah.
Like stop.
Clearly, you only think she's hot, and
Yeah,
that's all that matters to you.
Exactly. Strictly speaking, you just want to fuck her.
Yep.
Like, back off, dude. Seriously. Like, if you don't care about her like that enough, then shut the fuck up, man. Yeah. I think that it's a great thing that more women are being educated, and I think it's a great thing that a bunch of men are being offended by it.
Especially because, I mean, you think 40 years ago, women couldn't really go to college.
They couldn't go to college, yeah. Barely now.
Yeah.
Barely now. You know, we still live in a time where women are paid less.
Yeah.
In 2019.
Yeah. Still.
I can go get one of my eyes replaced by a camera eye right now, but women still can't fucking get paid the same.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid. Every woman that I've dated in the past, different backgrounds, different lifestyles, everything. For me, and I've been told too, like, I've been different than dudes that they've dated.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And I've never personally felt like offended by anything. I've met women who've said like they can't date dudes who like don't go to college and stuff like that. Rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're also getting into a time where people are realizing college is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's too expensive, at least in the U.S. Like, it's too much money, and if you don't have a college education, okay, but... I mean, there are still plenty of smart people out there that don't have a college education.
Who don't have a college. Intelligence doesn't come down to a paper degree.
Yeah.
And the gripping theory that I have with all of this is it's all just comes down to personality.
Yeah.
100%. It comes down to personality, and I feel like there are a lot more dudes have bad personalities than women do.
I think one of the things that this article is probably hitting at is these women are getting more experienced out in the world. Mm-hmm. It's not just the men, and they're realizing what they want.
Yeah.
And it isn't you.
Yeah, it's like they're no longer feeling trapped in just to bring it back around. They're no longer feeling trapped in a small town scenario.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I guess I'm gonna marry Tommy because fucking he's
all I know.
He's all I know.
Yeah.
He's the least shitty of the shitty guys. You know.
Look at Winona Earp.
Right.
Waverly was dating Champ just because, hey, they were in a small town, small dating pool.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
That's what it comes down to. A lot of is a small dating pool, and I commend a lot of women that, especially friends of mine that I know, who are from small towns and who've lived in a small town for a while, and then they one day decided, I'm going to college.
Yeah.
Fuck this place, and then they moved on.
Yeah.
And they've moved to Canada. They've moved to Europe. They've been elsewhere. They've met their boyfriends and girlfriends in other places.
Yeah.
And they have no intention to come back unless it's to visit their parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know? They decided, like, I'm tired of dating shitty people. This place sucks. I want a better job. I'm going to go to college.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go transfer to somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Just, like, go get a job somewhere else.
Yeah. That's what a lot of them did is they found a cheap apartment somewhere. Or they lived in a co-op with people, with college students or something. And then they just started their life over in different cities.
Or even Max, who just...
Yeah.
drove down to Austin and got a new job.
As I tell everyone, Austin's the third city I'm living in. I grew up in New York City. I told my parents when I was 18, I want to go to Pittsburgh. It's probably not interesting, but it's something new.
Not interesting.
Live there 9 years.
Yeah.
I can't, we shit on it all the time on this podcast, consistently shit on it outside the podcast, but I don't regret living there. I met a lot of cool people, and I learned a lot about myself living there.
Yeah, same.
And then it's like, now I live in Austin, and I'm the furthest out from any person in my family in the country, you know? And it's like, that's just how it is, and I'm fine. I'm gonna grow here, and I feel fine here, you know? I commend anyone to do that. Like, that article's so stupid. I don't feel like any women should feel. I don't think they would, right?
No,
but I don't feel like anyone should feel
I
upset.
feel like most women that are going to read this article are just going to be like, okay, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Is there any? I never read it, so
I didn't read it either, but it's by Gerard Baker. Okay. First sentence. When my daughters were small, they had a favorite bit of... Oh, I don't know what that word is.
Doggerel?
Okay.
Yeah.
That prefigured some early feminist learnings. Girls go to college to get more knowledge. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. They would chant at me, and with more evident passion, and with more evident passion at any young males in their vicinity. I try to take issue with the grammatical... This dude.
Let me see here. I'll take over for you.
Thank you.
I try to take issue with the grammatical mistake in the second line that I would point out. Slightly undermined the premise of the jibe, but it was no good. Girls are smarter than boys and immeasurably superior in just about every other respect. Kind of true. Kind of true.
Girls mature faster.
Girls mature faster.
Has always been said.
Oh, I clicked an ad. Hang on.
Oh,
okay.
no.
On that, of course, I've never dared man, I'm bad with words as well, I guess. Is he trying to say that he's like offended by his daughters? Hang on.
Yeah, no, like definitely from that first sentence, he was very angry that his daughters would yell that at him and then at other young boys.
That's a really dumb thing to be angry at. Like if I had daughters and they were saying that, I'm like, yeah, fuck them Jupiter boys. Go to college. The gender imbalance in educational attainment is getting larger every year. That may spell good news ultimately for income and employment equality, but it presages. I can't speak, guys. I'm so sorry. I can't read or speak. I don't know math. I barely know the English language. Increasingly problematic social conditions for generations of men and women. Well, I don't understand why this is problematic. I don't understand if you have human beings going into college, like. Throw the gender thing out the window, right? You have human beings going to college more consistently. It just means it's better for everyone in general. You know? More people being educated and having mutual ideas and things like that. I don't see the reason why having a separation of that makes any sense. It's the same thing where dudes get offended when when they're like women CEOs for something. You know what I mean? Or even in video games where it's like, you know, a woman can't be great at video games. If she's great at video games, she's definitely doing something wrong. You know, it's primitive thinking.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Go ahead.
Just the start of another paragraph a little further down. This gender imbalance has existed since 1981, when more women than men graduated for the first time, and it's widened just about every single year since then. In fact, the department estimates that by 2027, women will account for about 60% of all bachelor degrees awarded. That's
good. Fucking fine. There are more women than men on the planet, and women live longer.
Also,
do it.
Maybe raise your boys a little bit differently.
I was gonna also say, how about you just go to school and achieve something. Raise your boys differently. Yeah.
Don't make them focus only on sports.
I don't understand this this cultural focus on having boys be apathetic. Have to be super strong, crazy apathetic, and very incredibly narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, what the fuck are those traits? You know, like that. Of course, they're not gonna do anything. You know, like just teach your boys to go to school. And I don't understand. My parents, me growing up, my parents were literally their thing was, gee, you can do whatever you want. Make sure you go to college, get an education, absorb everything from school. You know. They were always like, absorb everything from school. Meet people, talk to people, learn as much as you can. Not just in school, but just in life in general. Learn as much as you can because everyone's going to try to take advantage of you or something. And you never know where you're going to be in the future anyway. We're new to this country. We don't really know, you know, what to expect out there, but we want you and your brother to be safe. So, you know, educate yourself. And I took that to heart. I legitimately educated myself, and when I realized, you know, even as young as 6 years old, when it was what was a dude thing, I was like, it's fucking stupid. What do you mean a fucking dude thing? I probably said it just like that at 6 years old. I played sports and did all that, but it wasn't because no, it wasn't because my parents forced me. Because I legitimately was like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this. I'll do this.
I mean, I think part of the reason why so many girls go to college is like that's the only thing that they really can do. Not many girls can go professional in a sport.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many guys that will go to college just to play a sport, and then they'll leave after 1 or 2 years.
After 1 or 2 years, yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's...
Women have to, in general, fight harder for everything.
Yeah.
And that's just, like, not even just, like, on a grander scale of, or longer scale of, like, getting a degree or getting a certificate or trying to achieve, like, anything in sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a day-to-day thing for women.
I mean, there's also the societal pressure of women having kids, so you have to graduate college before you can have kids.
There was jumping back to the job stuff really quick. The other day there was a mom who was getting on her daughter about that because apparently I overheard this conversation.
Overhear a lot of conversations there.
You do. I overheard this conversation. Her daughter apparently turned down the engagement with her boyfriend and said that she wasn't ready for that sort of thing and she wanted to finish school.
Fucking good for her.
And her mom was not happy about that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that was legitimately my reaction. Me overhearing this conversation, I was like, fuck your mom. Go do your thing. Your mom's here saying
good for you.
Good for you.
Your life over just
having a kid and then
getting married and having a kid.
Yeah.
And,
to do what? To appease your parents or something like that? If they had their shit together, they wouldn't need anyone to appease them like that in general. It would be a blessing more than a desire.
Also, parents, let your kids live their own goddamn lives. Stop living through them.
That's again, I always say I'm spoiled with that. My parents never try to push anything on my brother and I. They, as you can see to this day, you've seen the relationship I have with my parents over the phone at least and stuff. It's never been a situation of, oh, you need to do this. This is what you have to do. It was always be safe and then explore these options. Or you can always do this again. And for example, my mom said if things don't really work out too well in Austin, you can always come home and start over. You can give it 3 years, then you can move right back out to where you ever need to go.
Well, your parents are giving you 3 years.
What?
Nothing. My parents are more of a year.
Yeah,
give it a year and then come back.
My parents are very much, but they're very much they know that I have that tenacity to always be fighting for something. So they know I'd save up and definitely do research and try to move someplace else.
I mean, I'm not moving back to fucking Hanover.
Dude, that's the thing is New York is such a different beast than when I left that I wouldn't mind moving back to New York City. Being able to live in the Bronx and stuff again, and in this version of New York would be pretty interesting. But I wouldn't want to do that because it's just I've been independent for so long now.
Yeah.
Almost a decade I've been on my own and not living with my parents. So it's I feel like that will just take a different turn on me. You know. And I'm still very new to Austin in general. So we're still very new to Austin. So there's still so much to discover here and so many different people and stuff. So.
Yeah, and finding our place here. We kind of just jumped into an apartment just so we could have one, but I'm looking forward to when we can actually looking and getting a place where we actually want to live.
Yeah, a place to live that's actually consistent and works out, and they exist. I've seen them. They exist. Yeah. It's just planning it out and having, which we can do now that we're here. Yeah. And we're established here. And that goes into the next thing I was going to say is seriously, fuck that article and go to school. All women should do whatever they want. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, do what you want. Also,
dudes have been doing what they want for fucking ever.
Also, if you don't want to go to school, you don't have to.
You don't have to go to school.
There are other options.
Seriously, if you want to establish your life in any way, you can establish it. Ask if you want to ask questions. There are people you can ask questions for, even if it's a stranger online who's like an author that you read occasionally. See if you seriously want to ask them about it. Ask them about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We ask people that you can feel safe asking questions for, and do research. Always do research. I can tell you, someone who consistently does research on things. Always do research. It'll put you way ahead of the curve on things. But yeah, don't fucking give a shit about whatever dudes think. What the fuck? What are they gonna do? Yell about? They're gonna just type about it angrily on 4chan or something. Whatever, dude. Like that bothers me. That's a thing nowadays where it's like there's like an attack on masculinity, but it's like what was ever there, you know? Like there's never anytime dudes have any sort of me growing up, any dudes that had any sort of considered feminine qualities, I don't believe that's even the thing for it. You know what I mean? For example,
empathy.
Empathy, and any form of empathy. You know, like for me, I was the kid that went to art museums and stuff with my mom and like friends and stuff like that, and I was the artist kid. You know, but a lot of the guys that weren't in my friend group in high school, they would consider me the art kid. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, but he plays sports too. You know, that sort of situation. It was always like a tag on thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like when I'm playing video games, I played a lot of RPGs. I played a lot of story-based things, like fantasy games and stuff like that. But it was like, no, but he plays Call of Duty too. You know, it was always like this weird fucking tag-on situation for me.
Well, yeah, I mean there are the guys out there that only play the sports games or only like Call of Duty and Halo and stuff like that, and they don't want to play the story-based games.
They don't, yeah.
Even though they're so fucking good.
It's because it doesn't give them any sort of the word of the day, I guess for me, is clout. They don't have any. They don't gain anything from it. They can't go and have a conversation about how much better they are at this than other people. They can't. By the way, I love this fucking background.
I do too. It's real good.
This reminds me so
much.
When I
switched to this, I was so happy.
This reminds me so much of Antigua. It hurts. By the way, this is like how it is on the island. Sometimes I miss that shit. Anyway. Like they don't seem to care about anything that doesn't benefit them in terms of like their ego, you know what I mean? And I don't care. You know me, I don't give a shit about ego stuff. You know what I mean? And the amount of times where people have like watched me play games and they're like, man, you definitely play a lot of video games, so like you're definitely like getting leaderboards. I'm like, I'm only good at this because I just do it because I want to.
Yeah.
I put a podcast on or music and I just play to help myself relax, and I've just gotten good over the years. That's it. I don't care who sees me be good. I'm not looking for credit or anything. I'm not gonna have like best sniper OG on like my Twitter handle or something. Like I don't give a fuck about that stuff. But I can't. I have such a hard time. That's why I play alone most of the time, because I have such a hard time meeting people online because so many people they care about that.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of times there used to be people that I played Overwatch with that they only wanted to play it competitively. That's all they care about. Me, I like the story, I like the character design. That's what we do about all this stuff.
Yeah.
But they're just like, no, it's all about the numbers. It's all about like competitive stuff, like what's your rank and stuff. And if they see me playing Dragon Age, they're like, why the fuck are you playing Dragon Age for? I'm like, because it's one of the best games in human history. Like, what the fuck are you asking me about why I'm playing Dragon Age?
Why aren't you playing Dragon Age?
Why aren't you playing Dragon Age, you idiot? That's where my lack of sympathy comes from, is like dudes feeling offended, like their masculinity has been attacked in some way.
Toxic masculinity.
It's
all that.
It makes no sense to me at all. You know what I mean? Like it makes absolutely no sense to me at all. Like it. There's so, and I've faced that. I faced that personally so much in my life.
That's just like. That's also, I feel like, your culture that you've come from and the way that your parents raised you, like...
That's the thing, is my culture has a lot of toxic masculinity.
It does, but, like, the way that your parents raised you, at least...
Yeah, the way my parents didn't want my brother and I growing up in an environment like that. Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's a great testament to how they raised you, like, the way that you are now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who, especially in college, who just, like... were so insecure about things. And I understand it's different back then, right? Because a lot of my friends now, that was a part of my friend group in college, they are trans or they've come out as gay and stuff like that now. But in college, they definitely really tried to put on that. And this is like 2011, you know what I mean? Which when we think about it, is like, oh, that's still in the future. But now that I really think about it, 2011 is pretty far back progressively compared to now.
We've made fucking leaps
in the last 7 years alone. There's been some leaps and bounds.
In the last 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Like,
you're right.
There have been some leaps. I mean, there's still a long fucking way to go.
Yeah, so much work.
Especially now that some of the progress is getting taken away. But I mean,
this article being an example of that.
Yeah. But I mean, at least with like some of your friends, like that could have been the internalized homophobia.
Oh, absolutely. No, it definitely was, because a lot of them came from like small town Ohio or small town West Virginia.
And you're raised in just you're hearing people shit on gay people all the time.
Yep.
So then you think that's what you're supposed to do,
Yep.
and then you're worried that, oh shit, I think I am gay. Well, I can't. No, that can't happen.
Right.
That's not. No.
Right.
No. So like you're homophobic, but like it's against yourself, and it's a struggle.
No, it totally is. Honestly, it's much like with some of my friends when they found out I'm demisexual.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what that was at all, and they were like, oh man, I didn't know you were gay, and I was like, guys.
There's a difference.
There's a difference, yeah. But to them, it's like they don't know that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like it's difficult for them to understand like there are spectrums and
Yeah.
that there's a variety of things. You know what I mean? Like yes, I'm black, but I'm
Yeah.
not African American black.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of people, especially in America, don't know that. You know, and I thought that it was me generalizing that for a long time, but I have a lot of foreign friends, a lot of friends in other countries, so
Yeah.
many other countries, that I talk with online on a regular basis or play games with. And like to them, it's like they're like, no, that makes sense, because in their countries they have so many people from other cultures and stuff around. You know?
Yeah, well, especially in Europe.
Yeah, especially in Europe. Yeah, which is most of my friends are
Yeah.
European. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's America. So they're just focused on America.
Yeah, it's almost like the way I see it is, you know, like if you look at a 1950s kind of like commercial involving the Boy Scouts, and they're in the woods. Seriously, they're in the woods, and it's like an Eagle Scout commercial, and they're just like all American-made graham cracker cookies or something, and they're all there saluting to the flag.
Yeah.
It's you just add color to that and put it on TV now. It would be
works.
scarily relevant.
Yep.
Scarily relevant to now. Like nothing has fucking changed. You know.
That's probably a commercial that they would do.
Yeah.
They would just fade it into
They'll
color.
fade it in the color, and it would say like all American made.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like it's fucking crazy to me when I see that shit. Yeah, and I'm sure I think that writer is a UK writer. I could be wrong. I think he might be English. I don't know his background or anything.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
still...
but even there, it's
not up anymore.
and for any of you watching from the UK, I sympathize with how difficult it is over there. Like, you think like people are fucking racist and homophobic here, like people over there just straight up still use those words towards people. From as far as I know, from my friends that I play I game with and stuff.
I mean, he's at least based in New York now. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's just that's a really bad way to put that article. That's very arrogant, and it's very much that viewpoint some people have where the world is still just very black and white.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like there's no in betweens. There's nothing like that can make sense outside of these small systems of thinking that people have. And it makes that's just I couldn't be that way. What's up?
Well, I went to his Twitter.
Oh, great.
And then I went to the media.
Oh, yeah?
First thing is from 3 days ago. Always a pleasure joining Sandra Smith, Fox, and Bill Hemmer on American Newsroom at Fox News. So
we just learned everything we need to know about this person.
I mean, I figured that already, just based on
we figure everything out now about who this guy is and how he is as a person. It makes me wonder what people actually want, right? Like, there's no perfect world where that's a situation. You know what I mean? Like, if girls aren't going to college, like, what that ensures the destruction of our species, right? Like,
seeing as I didn't read the article, I'm hoping that this isn't gonna be it. But my takeaway is maybe more boys should go to college.
That would be a good turnaround for this. It seems to be more on the jealous route.
It's more on the jealous route, and it's more of but
I'd hope the same. That'd be the takeaway.
Like maybe encourage guys to go to college more and take school a little bit more seriously.
They should.
I mean, I'm a person, I definitely didn't take like high school seriously or even college seriously. I mean, I went to an art school,
right.
I didn't take a lot of my classes there.
Right.
I didn't do a good job.
Yeah,
I could have done better, and I know I could have done better.
College, I really applied myself in college. High school was half and half. there was definitely a period of time, like 2 years in high school, where I was so focused on trying to fit in and not be like the short nerdy kid anymore, and like not stand out too much. You know what I mean? There was a period of time when I did that, but then after a while, I don't know what happened, but I was like, no, I'm fucking leaving, so I need to get my shit together.
Yeah, I made new friends in freshman year, and nope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wasn't good.
Yeah, I think like
I think we've talked about this before, but I was a bitch.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I was an asshole. And,
Yeah.
I had a superiority complex in high school. It was all because I was so insecure about myself, and it was all because like I needed some form of defense and smoke screen. I needed to have everything else out in front of me so no one can see the real me behind those shadows. That's literally what it was.
Same.
I'd go back and I'd kick that kid's ass to the moon and back.
I mean, I was so worried about anyone finding out that I was gay, even though, like, I was out to, like, a few of my close friends,
Right,
but, like,
right.
I did not want the rest of my friend group to know, because, like,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
part of a pretty large friend
Dude,
group, and it was...
There were a lot of friends in high school that I had figured that out all in high school, and like a lot of again like in the Bronx where a lot of the kids that were in my grade, I mean the cultures that they came from are incredibly homophobic cultures, you know, like mine included.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Incredibly old thinking and homophobic cultures, and like anyone to come out in high school like that, man, like I think there were one or two kids who were open about that, but they themselves like they were at a struggle for sure. They definitely got shit about it, and yeah, I couldn't imagine back then, man.
I mean, there were a couple guys that were out in my high school, like in my grade.
Yeah.
But that wasn't until like senior year,
Yeah.
But and there was only like one or two girls that were out.
There was something. Maybe this was my school in particular, and if there's anyone that actually is watching the podcast from high school, I know some of you watch the podcast and stuff like that. Let me know if there's anyone, if this is how it was, but I believe it was like way more difficult for the girls who were like that.
It is
in high school. Like they got like hardcore bullied about it. Like there was so much shit about them.
Yeah, I mean it's especially because like I guess with a lot of the guys, you would always kind of like you would always think that they were gay just based on like
mannerisms.
Yeah, mannerisms, or even just like, oh, they're in like color guard, or they're always doing these plays and all that stuff, or like musicals. So like you can always kind of assume, but it was definitely really hard in high school, and I did not want anyone to know.
Especially in a small town?
Yes, small town Pennsylvania.
Small town
Not
Pennsylvania.
great.
Small town Pennsylvania are 3 words that give me more anxiety than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Small town X. Small town X.
Yeah.
Gives me a lot of anxiety to think about.
But like especially like Pennsylvania or like anywhere in the South.
Yeah.
Like it's not fun.
It's not. That's why it makes sense to me why people move to big cities. The amount of customers we've had where they've said like, you know, my kid moved here, so I moved here too, and they're like, I'm from rural Texas, you know how it is, and I'm like, nope, from New York City, 10 minutes outside of Manhattan, bruv. I don't know exactly. I don't know what you're talking about, you know. And it's
don't know what made you think I would know.
No, exactly. Like, don't know what you think look at me, rural Texas, me.
Yeah.
It's like you think I would know how it is in rural Texas? Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, like of course your kid's gonna move. You know what I mean? Like, of course your kid's gonna want to not be there anymore. And I tell people this all the time. Like, even if not a big city, find a city.
Yeah.
I'd say move to a city. I know people are scared of cities. There's a big danger that comes with it. Learn about it. Learn your ways around it. Learn how to blend in.
Learn the better parts of the city.
The better parts of the city to live in.
Yep. Hang out in.
Yep. Yeah, learn those things and then make friends. Make friends with people that are good people. You'll find good people, even if they're a little boring. Make friends with them. Seriously. What?
I felt like that was a point at me.
No, it wasn't a point at you at all. That literally wasn't a point at you.
Okay.
That's just advice that I've always believed. Like my first friends in Pittsburgh were just like some fucking boring ass kids, dude. They didn't care. They never really played video games. They didn't care about music. They didn't care about art, really. They just went to art school. Whenever we'd hang around downtown, they didn't really talk to each other that much, but they knew each other for a long time. They went to high school together, but it was like, it felt like I was just walking with like corpses almost. There was no personality there. Okay. But through them, I made all my good friends. Yeah. Through them, like whenever I would go hang out at their room, there were like other people who like, they come in with like a band T-shirt on and dyed hair, and I'm like, this is someone I gotta fucking know. Yeah. I gotta get out of this other group. And that's how I really started meeting people, was that way. Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have met like Teddy and Mackenzie if it weren't for Kelly, and then I wouldn't have really started hanging out with them again if it weren't for you.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know Teddy if I didn't know Mackenzie. Yeah. Yeah. Stuff like that. So it's like it's interesting, like that's the dynamic that you have. You never know like who's linked to who and things of that nature. And ultimately, I would say too, like work on yourself. It just became like a thing with teaching people what to do when they leave. Here's some advice. Seriously, I mean, this is kind of what the podcast is a little bit, but like work on yourself, especially. If there are parts of yourself where you're like, I shouldn't say this word anymore. Don't say that word anymore. Yep. Don't even try to replace it. Just get rid of it altogether. If it's a word that's worth saying that about, don't do it. Yeah. Or if there's a certain thing that you react to or something you need to avoid. I know there are a lot of people who there are things in the world that they just, no matter how much they try to get used to it, they can't get used to it. Find ways around that, It's easier said than done, obviously, but, moving comes with a lot of that. Yeah. Moving to a bigger place and just in general, college in general, there's going to be so many personalities and cultures and just mannerisms that are completely alien to you. Yeah. And
I mean, we also went to a very strange college that
within a year of me being at that college, I ended up dating briefly a girl that I found out was a part of a coven that was out of our dorm. I put up two fingers, but that's one finger it should be. That was out of our dorm.
Well, there was a coven in our dorm?
There was a coven in our dorm. There was a coven in our dorm. And me, little me, no locks, small glasses, shorter, Linkin Park t-shirt.
Band t-shirts
Band
all
t-shirt,
around.
Halo 3 backpack. Dating a girl who was a part of the supposed coven. Did that. Ended up in an underground rave where too many people took ecstasy. Don't remember how I ended up in that situation. Got lost in the South Side and somehow started smoking weed with trust fund kids on the train tracks, on abandoned train tracks back there. Almost got inducted into 3 cults. And then 2011 ended. And I was still in Pittsburgh for 4 more years after that. 6. What year is this? 2019? For 8 more years. 9 more years. 9 years? 2010? Actually, no. We're in October now. So it would have been 8.5 years, not 9 years. 8.5 years in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yeah. That was my first year.
I was boring and I didn't do anything. I didn't get to Pittsburgh until summer of 2011. And Kelly was my roommate. We became friends after a couple months. And I just went to class. We walked around the downtown and I didn't do a lot.
Real talk, I'm afraid to drag you places. I'm very much the person.
No, but you need to.
I do need to. I'm very much the person where it's like I feel very secure in my personality at this, getting close to at least that in my life, right? So I can walk to a place, much like the emo club, right? Me, 3 years ago, would not have even wanted to engage with that. Would not want to be in a room full of people. I would have been like fucking smelly ass kids who just want to fucking relive their high school emo nights. What the fuck? No, I'm gonna stay at home and watch Jeopardy.
Have you Never.
I never watch. I'm watching anime and eating pizza. That's what's happening. I'm staying home and watch anime alone with nothing. That's an even better night. They should be following my example. But then, literally, me now, it's like, yeah,
not anime,
but you now.
Yeah.
But yeah, me now, it's like I'm like, no, I can just be me and walk into situations. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's going here. This would be cool. I find my comfort in my area, and I flow with the crowd.
I mean, I need to be pushed out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
To like find something else that I'm interested in.
I just don't know. I don't want to push you too far. Because I'm very much you've seen me talk to people.
Yep.
I will get into some shit.
How about this? I promise to tell you when I'm done.
Okay, that's a good way to do it. I would absolutely 100%. All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I am. I feel like that's the best way to do that. Just say, this isn't for me. I'm out of here. I want to be done. But there's a lot of stuff to do in this town, and if I had more time, say if I had like the hours I had at the theater, I would be on the bus and just go fucking do something.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, there were so many times where there was like an open gallery or something that I can just take the T downtown to go walk through, and I'll just do it.
Yeah.
I just do it. Just hop back on the T and go back home afterwards, and see whatever. Some to see if anyone wants to go. No one wants to go. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I haven't really done that here yet because it's still new city and everything like that. Downtown here has waves. There are some times downtown here where it's real chill. There are other times where it's real dank.
It depends on also where you are.
I was gonna say I was near 6th during emo night because it was in Barbarella's, and it's not too far from the homeless area over there. And the people I was with definitely were very young, and they didn't seem to care that much about it being the homeless area. They had their own stories of being there before. So I went directly into defense mode. Yep. Armored up. You know what I mean? Took the defensive action. That AC bonus was going to help me.
+2.
And I decided, like, I'm going to take lead here. You know what I mean? It's Max, myself, and then 2 women. I'm like, I'm going to take lead here. Max is next to me. And I'm like, we're gonna protect these 2 ladies because because of that, because there's creepy ass fucking dudes.
Yeah.
All over.
And it's late at night.
It's late. It's like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like 2 in the morning, and there's creepy ass dudes everywhere in downtown Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the homeless area.
Yeah, that's where I won't be comfortable.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is I would never bring you in that situation.
Yeah.
I'd never have you be there in that and do that. Yeah, and I'll talk to you more about like how just the scope of things are to paint a better picture for you off camera. But that I would like to go to like the Cat Festival or that they have, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or go to like even go to ACL one time. It happens pretty.
I mean, we've been told that we need to go.
We need to go to Buc-ee's still.
Yes, we do.
There's a lot of shit to do around here that we got to do.
Somewhere else that we said we needed to go. Oh, aquarium.
The aquarium. I really want to go to the aquarium.
Yeah.
But like definitely go out and do more. There's just cheap options out there. So.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm even bringing this up is for anyone listening. Do that. Explore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Safely explore.
Yes.
Learn your ins and outs. Try your best not to look lost.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been trying to tell, especially friends who are moving now for the first time. I've been telling them, like, try your hardest not to look lost. Try to look like you know exactly where you're going. Even if you're looking down the street and you see a Starbucks, focus on that Starbucks and just go to it as if you've been in the city for 3 years. And the same Starbucks you go to, you know what I mean? Even if you don't go inside, try not to stop. Try not to draw too much attention to yourself. But to wrap it up, fuck that article.
Yes. Yeah.
Seriously, like, that makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense to me, dude.
Yeah. It made me mad.
That makes me upset. That makes me super upset. And there's so many people who probably read that article and were like, yeah, you know what? Why are women getting educations? What about us men? It's like, yeah, what about you men?
God, women getting educated, that means they don't like us men anymore.
Yeah, they're too smart to know that we're dumb.
You said that wrong.
What?
Or you said it right, I don't know.
I said they're too smart to know that the guys are dumb now.
That doesn't make sense.
But if the ladies were as dumb as the guys, then the guys can hide being dumb. But
they're too smart to know that the guys are dumb?
Yeah. What am I saying? What way should I say this?
They're smart enough now to know that they're dumb.
See, I said earlier, I don't know the English language. Can't speak either, read or write, or do math.
Oh, God.
You're right. That is actually the correct way to say that.
Yeah.
That is actually the correct way to say that. That sets such a precedent. And this whole, like,
I feel bad for that dude's daughters.
I was just thinking that. I was like, wow, he did say he had 2 daughters.
Yeah.
I hope that they just yell at him and it's going to sound bad, but I hope that they go to college, have great lives, and just don't never talk to him again.
Yeah. I hope so too.
Like, fuck that. Or that he gets his just desserts in the sense of he learns that the world does not work this way.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many people.
Maybe they can educate him after they get their college education.
Right? I was gonna say, Dad, I got my degree. I got my master's in masculine studies. Sit down.
Oh, God.
That's the world needs just more people in general who can understand things and who can just be educated in general. We just need. It doesn't matter the fucking gender of the person.
Yeah.
Like, people just need more. It needs to be more education in the
Yes.
world about a wide array of topics, if not everything in general. You know.
Yeah.
And also, the planet's dying. Why the fuck are we still having no girls allowed signs put on shit, dudes? For real. Like, who the fuck cares?
God, I shouldn't be laughing because it's true.
Like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? It's 100 degrees in Austin in October, but we want to fucking say, ding, 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 no girls in my treehouse. Oh, man. I think that's where we're going to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I'm glad you brought that article up. The thing that I was going to do was not as important to discuss.
Okay.
So, I feel like that's a really good point to end it. Guys, definitely let us know how you feel about things down in the comments. Let us know if you like the beach background. I can get more of these. I love the beach personally. A conversation like this is something I would love to be having on the beach.
Yeah.
With a couple, I'll say with a beer.
Margarita, maybe?
Yeah, dude, a good wine cooler.
Oh, yes.
And some barbecue, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, food in the fridge. I'm gonna heat up.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, we'll see you later. I'm gonna go make some dinner. Catch you later.